Hi, Flosstube. Happy October 29th. It's been a number of months since I recorded. So let me start out by saying, hi everyone, welcome to my corner of the internet. My name is Sherry. I go by Share Bear Stitcher here on YouTube as well as Instagram. For those of you returning, it may seem like a long time and I apologize for that. Thank you so much. Thank you for liking and subscribing. And if you're new to my channel, welcome. I am not a consistent recorder. I try to do 7 or 8 videos a year, but sadly, sometimes I don't get to that. So let me just give a very small life update since it has been a minute since I've been here. I think the last time I recorded was in July and I showed a bunch of things I was working on. I can't even remember. And frankly, I could have gone back and watched it today before I recorded, but I have just been doing a lot of things. So, and this is the middle of the week. So I'm sure there are a number of you wondering, why is she recording in the middle of the week? Because everybody, my husband and I retired from work on October 24th. A lot has happened, and we just decided that life is short and we're done chasing paychecks. We're doing well financially. We're going to be fine. And just this is where we are. So this is our first week of retirement. So if you're asking me, what have we been doing? Let's see. We've gone to our financial guy and spent a couple of hours there. We've set up a trust for the family so that way our combined children have no issues when we pass and everything can pass along to them. It's just been a whirlwind. Today, we went, my husband and I, and had coffee at a coffee shop after we ran and did some grocery. And we were just sitting there and smiling at each other because, like, this is retirement now. So I am still, for those of you that wonder, like, oh my gosh, what are you going to do in retirement? This is so new. I have been planning for this for the past year. And so I'm pretty prepared with how I'm going to do this. My days are still going to be set getting up at between 6 and 7. My alarm still will go off every morning. I plan on getting exercise, lifting weights. I've, over the past couple of months, not been really watching what I'm doing so much. So I've got to tighten up my diet and just, do all the things that keep me healthy and consistently healthy through this third chapter of life. I keep saying the final chapter of life. Who knows how long it'll be, how long any of us have, but my husband and I have talked through a lot of what we plan on doing, and we're going to stay as healthy as we can, staying as active as we can. Like right now, he's out at the Denver Zoo with his 2-year-old granddaughter. So I thought this would be a perfect opportunity for me to record. So given that, let me go back to July. I think it was July when I recorded, and say a lot has happened since then. I think it was right before I went to summer school. It was my first experience at summer school. I promise you it will not be my last. And I'm sorry, I might cough a little bit. Getting over COVID. Anyway, summer school was fantastic. There are plenty of recap videos out there, so I won't recap for you everything, but I'm just going to show you the gigantic bag filled with stuff that I have yet to unpack because we've been super busy. But there are a lot of things in here. It was a wonderful time. I know a lot of people say, retreat costs, they vary, and you have to work out what's best for you and your budget. I will tell you, yes, the retreat is expensive. The hotel is not. The hotel is very nice. It's 2 Hilton Homewood Suites in Hampton and something like that, connected to this humongous room that it was fantastic. We had a great time. And the designers did not disappoint. And then from there, we came back. I had about 2 weeks in between that. And then we went to Portland for my most favorite retreat ever, hands down, Pinowis. So Pacific Northwest Stitch Summit that is put on by Acorns and Threads. Janine and her team do an incredible job every single year of making it. When you think it's perfect, the next year it's just better. And this year did not disappoint. It was wonderful. The room was packed with people. I'm having to take a deep breath because I got COVID while I was there. So I came home with COVID, didn't know I had it. I waited 4 or 5 days. I tested, it was negative. Finally, I sent my husband to the store to get me a new test, and it like lit up COVID. And, you know, I live in Colorado and it's dry here. And so while I was fine the next week, this stupid cough has stayed with me forever. So bear with me while I take a drink. So I keep my throat ready to speak. I still have moments where I feel like a cough is coming on. And it's just, I looked it up, everybody that I worked with, which is, that's where I worked, by the way, guys. I worked here for 40 years and retired from Anthem. I worked with a lot of clinicians who would message me every day. You need to go in and get a chest x-ray. What's going on? I keep saying, Colorado, dry air. This is what happens. So anyway, we came home from Pinowis and got really busy with work. And early on in October, just really busy looking at my schedule because my original retirement date was February 6th of 2026. And my husband and I had talked to our financial guy, and he told us that if my husband wanted to retire next year with me, that was fine. My husband had just gotten a team of 10 people placed under him, so he was going to start managing them. And then we had an issue in the family. My husband's father, and those of you that know me know this personally, that in 2023, my husband lost his 25-year-old son to a very rare pediatric liver cancer. It wasn't anything he inherited, and he died at 25. So prior to that, November 2nd of 23, his mom fell in dementia care and just never recovered and died on November 2nd. 2 weeks later, my father-in-law, his dad, had a hemorrhagic stroke. So one whole side of his brain, it bled, it crossed the plane, and it kept him unable to speak or move. And so Chris, my husband, and his sister made the decision that their dad would have at-home care, which is what he wanted. He wanted to be rehabilitating at home. So after the initial treatment, he was at home for 2 years with CNAs 24/7. He had PT, OT, SD. He miraculously, by the grace of God, recovered enough to be able to move around on his own and speak and feed himself. And then a couple of weeks before October 3rd, he had another stroke. It sent him to the hospital. He just, it got worse, and he had another stroke. And when my husband and his sister asked for a CT scan, it showed progression that it just didn't seem like he was going to recover. So sadly, my husband's dad passed away on October 3rd. And that evening, we were sitting in his house in Florida and sitting at the kitchen table. And my husband, Chris, looked at me and said, I'm done. I'm not going back. And I was like, wait, what? And he said, I'm not going back to work. And I think we just need to retire now. And so, you know, in my mind, I was ready for retirement February. And it threw me for a little bit of a loop, I have to say, because it is like cutting off my 40 years of 2/3 of my adult life spent, 2/3 of my life spent at this company. And I I'm okay with retirement. I'm fine, but I just wasn't like prepared to go in and say, this is it, I'm done. And so we talked about it over the weekend. We met with our financial guy and he said, you guys are good. And so we turned in our resignation, our voluntary resignation, and people at work were just wonderful, gracious. Um, I cried a little bit towards the end. Coworkers cried. I'm still today. I got a message with many four-letter words saying, "I wish you were still here with me." So, but it's all good. We are going to be okay, and I highly recommend it to anybody. And hopefully, the lessons I'm learning along the way will help those who come later and have questions. So, after that, let's see, retirement was such a big part. You know, my days are going to be spent doing all of the things that I want to do, um, including I am going to a retreat in a couple of weeks. So we are going to the funeral next week. And then from there, I'm going to Michigan, and my husband comes back home. And I will spend a couple of weeks in Michigan, and 5 of those days will be with my friends, um, several of them going to the Stitch Michigan retreat. It's held in Lansing. It's put on by my friend Tiffany Emery, Emery Events. And if you are not a member of the Stitch Michigan Facebook page, please go join it, because it's not just Michigan people going to this retreat. It is open to everyone. It's very affordable. Tiffany gets a lot of designer participation. We get a lot of donations. We have vendors that come. It is a great time. And if you've ever been to Lansing, then you know Horrocks or Horrocks, depending on how you say it. That store is right across the street. And if I had to say what that store, describe that store to everybody, it is a wonderland of, they make their own candies. They have the best produce and fruits and vegetables. They have all kinds of gourmet things. They now have a coffee shop. They do pizza. It has a brewery. It has a liquor store. You can go and drink beer on tap. It is the best version of a farmer's market mixed with Trader Joe's and Whole Foods and Sprouts and all those stores you love to go to. It is just a wonderful store. Their soup bar is fantastic. I promise you, we will not eat anywhere else but Horrocks every single day. So again, join up the Stitch Michigan Facebook page and just take a look at what we're doing in the next couple of weeks. And if you like it, please consider coming to this retreat. It is a wonderful time. So with that said, that is the last retreat I will go to this year. I already have a couple on tap for next year. I can't imagine I'm going to do more than just a couple, but I have already spent 13 minutes talking about life updates and retreats are the best thing. They're just the best thing. So with that said, let me jump into some haul, and then I'll show you some whips. I'm looking at haul that I have, and I'm surprised I have this much. So let me just start there. Now, I'm going to say ahead of time, I'm not sure where I got some of this stuff from. So like these 2 charts came from my local stitching. It's called The Stitching Shop. It's a local needlework store here in Denver. It's huge. Look it up online. It's a great store. I went in and I just saw these, and the Be Kind sampler. I like this one. I've seen it stitched up, so I grabbed this. I also have a goal. Like, I'm retired now, so I'm probably not going to buy a lot of charts or kits unless I know I'm going to stitch them. And I'm pretty sure I will stitch this. I'm also at some point considering having a stash sale. This is the room where all of my stitching is. And let me see if I can do this really quickly to show you. And I think I can, so bear with me. Sorry for the shaky camera. Those are all pre-kitted, fully kitted, ready to stitch projects. You see my cabinet next to it has all my fabric in it. And then over here is all my floss. And those two light green drawers over there are all charts. So I have all different kinds of flosses. I have beads up there. I have a ton of stuff. So I think what I am planning on doing, I'm so sorry about my hands being in the way of the camera. I think I'm going to do a de-stash sale next year. But give me some time to get through these first initial few months of retirement. That might be something that I wade through, especially the charts that I have. I have a lot, and I would rather they just go to Stitchers than me dumping them off in the Goodwill. So anyway, back to what I purchased. I bought these two charts. This one is the Haunted Stitches Needle Book. I just liked that. I thought it was cool. I'm not one that makes things. I usually stitch it, frame it. That's kind of what I do. So I don't know if I'll make this, but I liked it. I thought I would definitely stitch this. And maybe use it for a gift for someone. So these two charts. And then when I went to the retreat in Pinewis in Portland, which again, I recommend everybody try to get into that one. I think it was there, or maybe it was summer school, where we got bags like this. I think it was summer school that we got these bags. This is the coolest bag, and I'll tell you why. If you travel and you're taking projects, it's so much easier to put a project in that than shoving 5 or 6 of these in your traveling bag, your carry-on bag. Putting projects in here, look at this. These are so cool. I ordered them from Amazon, so I ordered a package of like 10 of them. And now that I'm traveling, I'll just take them out of the project bags that they're in and put them in here and use these. So cool. So I ordered a bunch of those. The missing needle on Etsy, I saw these. I don't know how these popped up on my Etsy. I was looking at project bags and it popped up and I thought, how pretty this is. So this, I think, is Tilda fabric. So I said, yes, please, I'll take that. Look at that inside, how pretty that is. So very well made, the missing needle. And I have recently, from Starry Owl Stitchery, I happened to be online and saw her post some, again, this is Tilda fabric, the Wildflower collection, I think. I saw her post a couple of bags and I thought, oh, that's really pretty. Let me try and see. And I'm going to tell you, this is a very well-made bag. I was like zipping it up and looking on the inside and looking at how it was done. Now, can I make this? Yeah, I can probably make this. Would it be this perfect? Probably not, but who cares? It's for me. So that might be something I do in retirement, maybe. Who knows? But I ordered that bag. And I ordered this bag. It is Nana Judy handmade bags. Look at how pretty that is. And oh, there's something in there that I'm going to show you guys, which once I show it, everybody's going to be like, where can I buy that chart? And you can't. But that's the inside. This is also a very well-made bag. Look at that. Look at the back. Just beautifully done. And then I might have shown this bag last time. Let me see if there is a tag on here. Yes, needle and hoop. And I threw some stuff on here, but I ordered this. Can you tell I'm in sort of a patchwork mode lately? I don't know why, because it's really not me, but I like it. I thought the bags were gorgeous. So, beautiful bag, beautiful colors. And then at, oh, and if you watch Gem, Stitching Gem, we were at the table at the same time and bought these, this right here. Look at how cool that is. It says Queen Bee. We bought these at summer school. So yeah, I got this as well, this bag. So those were bag purchases. Now let me show you some fabric because I went a little kind of crazy on fabric. I really like yellow, and I do like sparkle. And I do have a couple of pieces of XJU baby sheep and sparkle. And I wanted to stitch something. I don't know what it was that I pulled to stitch on it. It just didn't look right because I was using one strand. I think it was 36 count. I actually thought, let me see if I can find something in 40 count. And so I have a couple of fabric people that I go to on the regular, Leslie Under the Sea Fabric and Fabrics by Stephanie. So I went to Steph's website and I saw Princess Buttercup, and I was like, ooh, that is really pretty. So I messaged Steph and said, hey girl, can you make that for me in sparkle and 40 count and let me have a half? And she said, yes. So this is what I got. Jem, if you're watching, look, girl, look at this. And with the sparkle, can you see that sparkle in there? Oh my gosh, so, so, so pretty. So I got a fat half. And that was from Steph. And then my friend Tiffany, who I have talked to you guys about, and I might have already shown this, she was at the Grace Notes Fabrics retreat or Grace Notes retreats. And we were texting as we're doing right now, and our little group chat is going off on my phone. I said to her, hey, anything in the yellow, buttery yellow on the table that might be 40 or 46 count? And she found this ginger. Oh, that is great. That's showing up, and it's 46 count. Look at that color. Isn't that cool? And so I said, give me the whole piece. So it is a fat half. Oh, it's just so pretty. And I have a tiny serger, so if I ever cut it, I can serge the ends. It wouldn't be a big issue for me. So when I went to my local needle workshop, a stitching shop, I said, you know, I'm going to get some sampler colors. So if you know me, you know that I like bright colors. I like bold colors. I like sparkle. I can't help it. I just do. But I also don't have a lot of neutral fabrics. So I grabbed this 40 count Newcastle Vintage Smoky White in a fat quarter. I don't have anything like this, but can you see that? It kind of looks like, I want to say it kind of looks like fresh fallen snow. Isn't that pretty? So it has a little bit of modeling in it. You can see it there just barely. So I grabbed this. And then I grabbed Fiber on a Whim Beanstalk in 40 count because honestly, that's great. That's just great. So that's 40 count. And it's not sparkle. And then I got Seraphim Stonewash in 46 count. And it really is like a stonewash blue. I know people are like, what are you going to do with these? But honestly, these are like samplery for me. Because, you know, I'm just not a all the time brown girl. So very cool. Stonewash, 46 count. Fat quarter. And then Fiber on a Whim Lagoon in 40 count, which this is just a beautiful blue. And it really does look like the sun hitting Caribbean waters. Very light. It's really pretty. So there's that. And I'm going fast because I have a lot of stuff. Which now that I'm in retirement, got to slow down. Then Stonewashed Seraphim in 40 count from the same shop. So you already saw it. I got two pieces of this. Just because I liked both sides. And I told her to cut it. Okay. So, yes, Acorns and Threads. I actually bought some fabric from the store because she carries Atomic Ranch. So I got this is Tombstone from Atomic Ranch. It's 40 count. Now that's cool, right? That is very cool. And it's showing up just true to color here. The gods are blessing me with light today. And then this is Atomic Ranch 46 count Milkwood, which I honestly do not have colors like this. It's sort of beige, grayish. It's really pretty. Definitely samplery. So it's 46 count. I am going to have to show you guys what I did too. And I don't know where I put them right now. Okay, let me stick with this. And then Fiber on a Whim, 36 count. Let me take it out of the bag. I really don't need the bag since I have to iron them all, refold them, and put them in the cabinet over there. And this is called Smoky Quartz, which again, I don't have a lot of colors like this, but it's cool. And I really, as you can tell, 40 and 46, if you look at my cabinet over there, I have two big stacks of 40s, but I have hardly any 46. So I am in, these next few are Fiberlicious. I am in the Fabric of the Month Club, and I changed it to 46 count. So the last two colors I have received, or fabric pieces I have received, was this one called Autumn Eclipse. It's a 46 count Verdal. Oh, and that is great. Look at that color. These are the kinds of colors that just grab me, okay? So let me put this away. And then Burnt Sienna. Wow, this needs to be part of the regular line because look at this. And this is 46 count. Wow. That is fall, screaming fall, right? Gorgeous. So that is my fabric haul. I bought, let's see, are they somewhere that I can grab them? And I'm looking in my fiber drawers, and I'm not sure they're, oh, there they are. Gosh, you guys, let me see if I can grab these. Yeah. So the little thread shop in Michigan is, and I'm sorry, I'm in workout clothes because I got to go work out after this. The little thread shop in Michigan, she's closing down her shop. And so every month, if you're on her mailing list, she tells you what fibers she has for sale and how much. And 2 months ago, maybe 3, she did Tudor silks. And so I bought 170 skeins of Tudor silk, and they're all in here. And just to show you what Tudor silk looks like, I mean, you guys, this is beautiful. Look at these colors. Look at this crimson. It says, for those of you that don't know, 12 strands, 120.2 silk floss, made in Switzerland, extra fine floss, hand dyed by Gloriana. It's 5 yards. Look at that. Oh, just scrumptious, right? So while we were at Pinowis, I sit at a table that with the same few girls every year, same girls. Why is that not going in there? There we go. Every year I sit with the same girls, a group of girls, and 2 of them happen to be Jillian and her mom, Anne, who are Gloriana. And Jillian was stitching with Tudor silk, a small sampler. I wish I could remember who it was that she was stitching. But I looked over and said, Jillian, what are you using? And she said, well, I'm using our Tudor silks. I said, so I took a picture of it. It's in my phone. It just was gorgeous. And I said, yeah, I'm definitely getting some. So when I saw that sale, I said, yes, please. I will take a single one of every single color you have. And so I splurged and took care of that. So that was another purchase. And let me look really quickly. I think that's it for purchases. I don't think there's anything else that I bought. I do have some NPIs over there that I bought from also the little thread shop, but I really don't have plans to buy much more. When I go to Michigan to the retreat, I am definitely going to the bead trader. It's about 20 minutes away from where we have the retreat. And I am going to stock up on the size 15 beads. So they're all in here. You can see all of these come from the bead trader. And I like size 15s because they're easier to put on mirabilias, which I am loving stitching lately, and I'm going to show you a couple, but the size 15 just make a lot of sense for me. So these are 15s. Look at these. And look how many. And this is so inexpensive, $2.50, but they're fantastic beads. So I'm going to probably, what I'm going to do is lay these all neatly, take a picture of them, and then when I'm in the bead trader, try to fill up holes where I have holes in colors. So there is that. Okay, so now let me go over some whips. And I guess I'll just start with one that's here in a project bag. You may have seen that a couple of weeks ago I posted a picture on Instagram, just several pictures of, I know lots been going on. I think that's what I wrote. A lot has been happening. I haven't really posted anything lately, so let me show you some of the stuff I've been doing because I have been stitching. One of the things, okay, this isn't a whip. This is something I bought, so this is the last thing that I bought. Sorry, the talking is going to make me cough. I don't know why I didn't buy this when it came out. I love Teresa Kogut. She is an awesome person, and her designs are beautiful. I saw this stitched or being stitched, and I just fell in love with it. It looks so good. But I change a lot of stuff. So I decided to put it on Fox and Rabbit Prehistoric, and this is 40 count. So prehistoric, if you don't know, is like a grayish blue kind of, maybe even a little bit of purple undertone. And so I kitted it up with all of the called for, and then I laid them out, and I'll just show you a couple of them on here. And it looked so good on this prehistoric that I said, oh yes, let me do that. I mean, even the gray blues looked so great on here. So I said, yeah, I'm going to do that. And like I said, oops, I just dropped one, so hang on, sorry. Like I said, I'm not going to buy stuff if I'm not going to stitch it, but I definitely plan on starting this. So look at these colors on here. It's just beautiful. So I kitted this up. This will be a start sometime in 2026. But for now, this goes on my shelf over here with all of the fully kitted projects. So now we'll get to whips. So as you all know, for those of you that are stateside, next year is America's 250th. And I don't much stitch patriotic. It's not that I am not patriotic. I do love our country, even though we are filled with a bunch of crazy, insane things happening right now. But I do love our country, and I think there is no other country I would rather live in. You know, no disrespect to our Canadian neighbors, or I love you all. I love my friends in Canada. I love my friends who live everywhere. But for me, it really is no place like home. I'm an American girl. So, at retreat at summer school, which we got so many, and it was a star-spangled summer school. we got great stuff, and it's all in the bag. And I'm probably maybe not going to stitch some of it. Maybe I will stitch some of it. But definitely, definitely, when I saw my friend Paulette's design, and Paulette went last, it made sense to me why she was last. And I know a bunch of you have seen this. And I keep seeing internet questions like, where can I buy that chart? It'll come out eventually. It's exclusive to the summer school people right now. It was freaking huge when Paulette held it up. And so I said, yeah, I like it. I think I'm going to work on that. And I'm going to change some stuff on it because that's what I do. The first thing I did was I changed the fabric, and wouldn't you know, oh wait, this is it right here. I changed it. I mean, it was fine what Paulette had in here. I can't remember what it was. But I changed it to a Shara from Under the Sea Fabrics, and it's a linen 40 count opal. Because it's our 250th birthday, and darn it, we need to sparkle. So I started stitching it on here on this sparkle fabric. And there's a spot here where when Paulette was talking about it, she said, oh, this thing gave everybody the stitcher fits and her fits, and it's the stamp. And there's a whole bunch of history written in here. I'm not going to go over it and take all the time, but this stamp was in the middle there. She has an alternative with some of this over here, which frankly I liked better. So that's what you see that I've done here. And look at that. Oh, look at that sparkle. Tell me that doesn't work. It is our 250th birthday. We need to sparkle. So I'm also, let's see, where are they? These initials, those are coming out. I'm going to change that and maybe stitch them like strategically placed up around here. I just kind of don't like those sitting right there. So I'll be changing that as well. And I tease Paulette. I send her messages and say, guess what I'm changing? So I just like it better. But this is a cool chart, and it's so big. It's just so big. So this is definitely going to get worked on, and it will get worked on before the official birthday of America, and hopefully be done. I don't know if it'll be framed, but it definitely will be done. So that is one whip. Up here is another one. If you've looked at my finishes on Instagram, you'll see that I love Leela Studios Quakers. I have the summer Quaker up on the wall downstairs. I stitched that on Under the Sea Fabrics Beach Walk in a sparkle fabric. And that fabric, when it is, I'm sorry, I gotta clean off my glasses. I seem to have touched them. That fabric, when it's dyed, as many of you know, when you dye a fabric, and then when the dyer washes the fabric, and especially I think because it's a sparkle fabric, it shrinks to about 44 count. So my summer Quaker, it just looks fantastic. The colors, one strand, DMC, I didn't change any of the colors. They just pop on that fabric. So I thought, okay, there's a theme. I want to do all of the Quakers on sparkle fabric from Leslie on the 40 count, so it's small enough and it's the same size as the other. So I decided autumn Quaker because I just love fall colors. I did not like this, so I changed it. And let me show you what I did. This is my whip. This is my progress. Before I do that, let me tell you what fabric I'm using. Hopefully it's in here, and it doesn't look like it is, so I can't tell you. It's in another bag. Darn it, I'm sorry. Somebody will know. So, this is my version of the center. Autumn is a joyful reminder that change can be beautiful. It's so cool, you guys. So cool. It's on a sparkle fabric. It looks great. I love it. I hope you guys like it. I used a Gloriana silk for the letters. And that silk is right here. Let me tell you the name of it. Autumn Arbor from Gloriana. So hopefully it's showing up on camera well. I love it. I just love it. I think it looks great. So that's a whip. Now, is it going to be done next year? I don't know. Maybe. Once you get that middle done, I think the Quaker part on the outside, that goes pretty quick. So maybe I'll give that a little bit of time. And I'm sorry you're going to hear some crinkly noise. Okay, so the next thing I worked on, Salem Sampler from my friend Paulette at Plum Street. I was trying to finish this. I really was trying to finish this before Halloween, but I'm just not there. And I'm definitely not going to finish it since Halloween is 2 days away. This is how far I am, though. And this is a sparkle fabric from Dying for Cross Stitch. It was a May 2024 fabric of the month. And it's sparkle because, as I have said 1,000 times, I love sparkle. But check it out. It looks really good. At least I think it looks really good. Hopefully you guys do too. I like it. This is 40 count. So, and I didn't change any of the colors. They're all the called for. So that is definitely going to be done. Maybe before the end of the year. Maybe not. I'm in a mirabilia mood right now, so maybe not. And I haven't been all year, but I have been for the last month. What's in here? Oh, nope, haven't worked on that, so I'm not even going to show that. Let's see. Next whip. Yes, I have worked on this. This is... This is not this. Okay. This is Claire from Stephanie, hand-dyed fabrics from Stephanie, and it's 40 count. And this is Every Gift from Plum Street. Am I having a Plum Street year? I think so. This is Every Gift from Plum Street. It was a retreat exclusive from Farm Girl, and I did change some of the colors here. So what I did, let me pull it out, was this is the chart for those of you that haven't seen it, which I think at this point everybody has seen it. What I did was I took all the DMCs, pulled them. I had them actually pulled because they came in the kit. And then I went to my local needlework store and I said, yeah, I'm going to convert all of those DMCs to some classic colorworks or gentle art. So I converted all the colors. I will show you that the reason why I have stopped, this is an easy stitch. And the reason why I stopped for now is take a look at those fish in the water. The water, the color for the water or the little lake area, it just was drowning out the fish. So what I am going to do is I'm going to pull the fish out, and I don't know what color I'm going to make them. Maybe a darker, maybe a completely different, maybe yellow. I don't know, but they need to be a different color so that I can stitch the water and then have the fish show through. And then I just was like, okay, well, let me pull that out. So I spent like a whole day frogging all of that out. And then I just said, oh, to heck with it. I'm just going to go and start on this. So I started there. But the biggest portion of this chart is done. If you look at the chart, I mean, really what's left is just the vine area and this urn and the words. I mean, that to me, that's not as stitch intensive as the house was. So very, very nice, easy stitch. Thank you, Paulette. Love you. This is great. And this definitely will get done next year. Okay. While we were at Pinwis, it was me, Tiffany from Stitch, Michigan, and Mama Bear Stitchery, Debbie. Debbie and I try to do retreats together. Tiffany and I do many retreats together. Getting Debbie to do retreats, they need to be on this side of the country and they need to be easy to get to. But we travel so well together, the three of us, and then our friend Julie from Canada. We just all travel really well together. So while we were at Pinwis, we decided, me and Debbie and Tiffany, to stitch this, the Wren sampler. So if you've seen Debbie's, Debbie is doing hers on a piece of fabric called Pumpkin Spice. Tiffany, who does not have Instagram, but I will try to get a picture of hers when I see her in Michigan for the Michigan retreat. She's doing it on the called for, but she did change some of the colors. And then I went a completely different route and changed a bunch of the colors and chose light jade 40 count from Atomic Ranch. So let me show you how far I am on mine. And it's not, the jade is not really showing on here. So let me see if I can put this project bag up to there. That's a little better. But you can see it, I think it looks great. That bird, I did change some of the colors. That bird is so cool. Just so cool. And for those of you that have heard me say this before, if you haven't, my husband is a birder. He's a serious photographing birds birder. He goes out all the time. He does Cornell bird counts. So whenever there's a bird on a chart, if it doesn't look right, he's telling me I have to correct it. And I have to make it look like a real bird. And I asked him once I stitched this, how does that look? And he said, looks really good. So I'm very happy with that. I didn't have to restitch it. But here are the changes that I've made. This in the roof here was a silk from Anne from Gloriana that she was winding, had just dyed it, and she was winding it up while we were at retreat. She cut like 5 feet for each of us and gave us that. So I used that in the roof line, and I thought it was just perfect. The whole thing's going to come together as a reminder of the 2025 Pinwis. And I actually might commemorate that somewhere on this chart. Maybe I will. So I'm not sure if I'll finish it next year, but I am pretty far considering. So who knows? Maybe. And now that I'm retired, I have a lot more time. So who knows? I might do it. Okay. Oh, yep. Okay. That's where this card goes. So the next one is Manor at Swan Lake from With Thy Needle and Thread, Brenda Gervais. Let me turn it this way. So I am not using called for. You've probably already seen me show this, but I am using, oh my gosh, don't do that. Well, I'm not going to be able to open it. I will. Wow. I have a little knot of fibers going on in here. I am using silk spools, 103s, and now I have to do something crazy here, but let me show you these. Here are my 103s in my repurposed Vera Bradley drug carrying bag. And then while we were at Pinwis, I bought, and I'm going to have to cut that one off, all these Glorianas from Acorns and Threads. This is 103 silk that they make. So I bought a bunch of these, just all different colors, because honestly, I thought they were so cool. And Jillian told me that I stitching this and stitching that grass all in one color did not appeal to me at all. And she said to try one of the 103s from them, and I think it was either the thistle green or the olivine. She told me to pick one of these. When I see the name, oh, Granny Smith green, that's the one she told me to use. So it has some variegation in it, and I think that'll look really good for grass, so I'm going to use this. But it was fun. Oh, and I should probably show you how far I am, because I think this is on XJU. 40 count baby sheep, not sparkly. That's the house. And you can see Brenda's house is slightly different shade of red than mine. I think it looks good. I think the biggest chunk of full-on stitching is kind of done in that house. But I thought it looked really good. What do you guys think on this baby sheep? I like it. So there's that. That one will get done next year. And then I think, okay, so I hesitate to do this, but I'm going to show you anyway, because it's just not going to do it justice. My friend Tiffany, as I keep saying, she went to Utah last month for Stitch West. And while she was there, or in October 16th actually, is when she was there, she was taking a bunch of her pieces to Jill Rensel because she was going with Kindred Stitcher Lisa Smith, who's a friend of ours. She was meeting her. They were going to go to Ogden, spend the day going to Shepherd's Bush, and then Rensel Studios so that they could drop off pieces to be framed. So while she was there, I said, Tiff, if you see my Mooka from Mirabilia and it's done, snap a picture of it. So Jill and Amber at Rensel Studios have two pieces of mine, the dragons, and if you go back in videos, you might see it, designed by 2x2 Stitch Art that I stitched for my husband using a Silks for You silk, and my Mooka for Mirabilia on Heaven's Fury in a sparkle fabric, and I think it was 32 count, maybe it was 28 count at this point, I don't remember. But if you send things to Rensel Studios, you know the drill. You tell them, you know, mats, no mats, glass, no glass. I don't like glass. I'd rather dust my pieces, so I don't use glass. But they're busy, and it's just the two of them, and they work really hard. So if you send a piece to them, the good news is it expensive? Yes, depending on what you get done. But you have time between when they keep it or when they get it versus when you get it, because you can save the money up. So with that said, I sent them pieces. I think I sent them in February or March of last year. And I said, Tiffany, if you see my pieces worked on, whatever, take a picture. So the dragon is not done. It's probably being worked on now, but Mooka is done. And I just want you guys to see this. Okay, look at that frame. Like, can you even with that frame? I freaking love this piece. I just love it. Was it cheap? Nope. Is it worth it? Every dime. So it's not here yet, and I'll get a better picture when they're all done and they send me both. But wow, you guys, just wow. I think 2 days later, Amber sends me a text and said, Sherry, there's a lady here in the shop who wants to know what fabric you used on that piece. So they must have it out where people can see it. Anyway, so after I saw that, I sat back and said, wow, I haven't stitched Mira. And since I finished that, I have not touched a Mira, really touched one. So I'm in a Mira mood lately, and that is really what I'm consistently working on, including just started one yesterday. So let me show you the mirrors I've been working on, Mirabilias, and you can see my progress. I have just a few started, but I don't know. I just really, they're just for me relaxing stitches. I know you hear that if you're not a Mirabilia stitcher and you say you're out of your mind, but honestly, for me, it's so much more relaxing than a sampler. I know that sounds crazy, but it really is. So let me use this bag and show you this one. This is Sun Goddess, and she is the sister to Gypsy Queen. And this is how far I am since I picked her up again. Let me see if I have the picture in here of her. And I think I do. Let me grab it so you can see what she looks like. Yes. Now take a look here, because I didn't like this blob, so you'll see what I did. I extended it. So I just made it look like a crease here. I think it looks better. So this is how far I am. And if the colors look a little bit different to you, it's because I converted this to all Rainbow Gallery silk. So I have a huge ring of Rainbow Gallery in here that I'm stitching her on. And she's definitely going to get done next year because she is the sister to Gypsy. And Gypsy is on my wall downstairs. When you walk in my house, you can see her. So this is the one I started on when I jumped into my Mira mood. I re-picked her up or restarted working on her. And then, I don't have the picture of this one. Oh, actually, you know what? I probably do have the picture of this one, but I'm going to tell you, I have one of those whole drawers back there is all Mirabilia. And I have been collecting Mirabilia since Nora started designing. And so I have everything. And I'm sure the picture of this one is in there somewhere. I just don't have it in the bag. So I'm going to show you here, and I'm going to say whoever finished this one is the reason why I threw away my start from a long time ago and restarted her. But this is her. And I saw it on that red fabric and said, wow, that looks fantastic. This is Christmas Flourishes. She's one of the early Mirabilias, number 24. And this is how far I am. So Stephanie dyed this piece of, I think it's 28 count for me, Versailles red, and it's opalescent. And let me fold it in half to show you how far I am. No color conversion on here. This is all DMC. And honestly, you guys, this is going to be the first Mirabilia I stitch with skin not over one. And I'll tell you why. I started it over one. I didn't like how it looked, and I think it was because it's on this thicker red opalescent fabric. It just feels a little thicker. I just didn't like the way it looked. So I took it out and shared it in my little group chat with my friend Kenny Stitches and Debbie and Tiffany and Julie, and what do you guys think? And they went, yeah, change that skin. So I think it looks much better now. But this is how far I am. I realized that I'm probably going to have a lot of fabric left, but I don't care. 2 inches is more than enough for framing, no matter what anybody says. If you go to a good framer, 2 inches is good. So I've been working on this one a lot, but then I said, well, let me do something that my friends all said, hey, my enabling friends, that group, you should have a retirement start. And I went, what? I've been thinking about that, but really, should I start something in retirement? I don't know. Should I? Well, damn, yes, you should. So I came out here to my um, stand or my cabinet here of fully kitted stuff. And I pulled a couple of mirabilias that are in there that are fully kitted, by the way. I have a number of them. And then I said, well, what am I going to do? The one good thing about having, let me grab it, it's over here on the floor. The one good thing about having a fully kitted stash and a ton of fabric is that if I don't like the fabric that I kitted, I'm just going to change it. And I liked it. It's really pretty, but I thought, oh, I don't know, let me see if there's something better in my stash. So I found something better, and I shared it with my little group of friends, and they said, yes, that looks really good. So I did the, math calculations to make sure a fat quarter would work, and I decided that I was going to start Queen Mariposa, because I just think she's cool. So I'm doing her on a 28 count opalescent mummy from Bee Stitch Me. And I'm currently, this is my whip, and I started it yesterday. So here's that opalescent mummy from Bee Stitch Me. And it's tan with a little bit of modeling, but I laid all the colors out on it, and wow, did they just pop. So, and you can even see, I apologize that you can't really tell right now. Let me see if I can grab like my notebook here and put it behind here so that the light doesn't show through. But the colors look great on there. So this is my current whip. You see I have it on my Patoki Mini. And, for those of you that don't have this or have a Patoki and go, can it hold Q-snaps? I only use Q-snaps, frankly. I like them. I like the drum tightness. And it works fine on here. It works just fine. So, and my friend Vanessa, Flame Fingers, let me try hers before I bought this. And she told me, get a piece of felt and use that in between because the oils from the screw or bolt or whatever is in there can get on your fabric. And she's right, this is getting icky, kind of icky. So I just cut a small piece and use that. Other than that, guys, that is what I've been up to for the past couple of months. I'm not sure when I'm going to record, or if I'm going to have time to record again. I'm going to try after I go to Michigan retreat. Got to get used to this retirement thing and get myself really on target with the schedule. Like right now, I'm going to stop here and go outside and get in a pretty good walk and then come back and go do my strength training, my lifting. And, then the afternoon is mine because my husband is at the zoo. So I'm glad I could spend some time with you. I kept it just at an hour. I just can't waste your time with too much chatter of too many hours. That's just too much. So with that said, I hope everybody, for those of you that have little kids and Halloween is here this weekend, have fun, stay warm if you're in a colder climate. And then hopefully I will be able to talk to everyone again. Not before Thanksgiving, I'm sure, but for sure in between Thanksgiving and Christmas, I will try to record again and have maybe some progress on mirabilias. Like I said, I think for the rest of the year, it's just going to be mirabilias for me. And then I'll pick up in January with some rotation of samplers and such. But anyways, I hope everybody has a great next month. Thank you all for coming back and spending some time with me. Thank you for being gracious. I know a couple of people have reached out to say, where are you? What's going on? Send some good vibes my way that this cough thing goes away, please. And be nice to each other. Be kind to each other. The world is a crazy place right now. Teach your kids to be kind to each other. It's the only way we're going to get out of this alive. Thank you all. Have a great rest of your week, and we'll talk soon. Bye-bye.